guys, welcome back. My name is Michael Hoskinson, and I am the founder and single operator of Canine Control, the dog training program of the Dallas-Fort Worth area that is taking over the Metroplex. That's right, taking over the Metroplex. I appreciate you guys tuning into this podcast, Canine Convos, where we talk everything dog. And primarily, the biggest thing we're going to talk about is the bullshit that's out there in the world right now. Your Google searches, your social medias, all the places that you guys go to get information on how to have a better dog and the things that you can do to be successful with your dog, and how they're feeding you a line of shit so deep that your boots are full. So, how do I know that? Why do I talk that way? Well, let's just put it this way. If the FF trainers, force free, if the positive only trainers, if my quadrant trainers were so good at what they did, they would have ran me out of business a long time ago. I've been on the civilian side of dog training in this very area since 2005. So what does that make that? That's 20 years on the civilian side training dogs in the DFW area. And guess what? I am busier now than I've ever been. I mean, the producers were just talking. It's like I had 7 inquiries yesterday. If I'm doing something wrong, if I'm screwing something up, if I'm such an evil and terrible person with all the aversive training that I do, guess what? I wouldn't be getting 7 inquiries a day. There is no damn way. People would be running so far away from me, it wouldn't even be funny. And I have been in this business long enough, and I have seen trainers come, and I have seen trainers go. And guess what? This trainer ain't going nowhere. I train dogs in the real world. My scientific experiments and my background come each and every day as I go to these individual houses, and I sit there and I watch and I observe and I see how dogs actually act in the real world. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you that information so that you guys can see a better way to get quick and lasting results with your dog. But I digress, because we are talking dog aggression with unknown dogs. Now, this is coming straight off the VCA website, right? That's where we started this thing, and I've used them in some other examples. These are the authority, right? The VCA animal hospitals, the best of the best. We have Ellen, we have Deborah, and we have Big G. Look at all of those letters, guys. These are the smartest people in dog that you will ever find. And they have taken their time to write you this information and to give you advice on how you can fix things. So, dog-on-dog aggression or reactivity is a big one that I see each and every day. I see it all over social media, and that's why I decided to take up this topic and take a look at it. So, I just want to do like a quick look back at how we got here. I'm the why guy. I will always be the why guy. I want my clients to ask me all the time, why do I have to do this, Michael? Why does that make sense to the dog? Why? Because if you don't understand why, you will never fix a damn thing. I don't care what it is. You can put a Band-Aid on it, but you won't fix it. So I want to know why. I believe we can fix anything if we actually know why it's happening. Okay? So let's shoot up pick number 1. All right, why would my dog behave aggressively towards unfamiliar dogs? Okay, this is the info that followed, okay? So we're going to go to pick 2. One consideration is that your dog could be experiencing pain. Have your veterinarian do a thorough examination. So understand this, pain, right? We go right to pain, which is obviously the stupidest thing in the world, in my opinion. You know your dog. You see your dog. You're around your dog every day. You know if your dog is hurt. This is the first part of this money grab, this circle that they've got going. Dog training has become political is what's happened. But if I can get it to the vet, then the vet can do its thing. And what's it going to say 99% of the time? Your dog's fine. Give me $500. Okay? Now, let's go to pick 3. So the second possibility is that the dog that triggers your dog, and I want to mention this too, the dog that triggers your dog. Understand this. See how they move the blame? Oh, it's not Fluffy's fault. It's the other dog's fault. They are good about moving blame around. No one wants to take responsibility for shit. It's always another problem. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. No one takes personal responsibility, not in the real world or in dog training. And this is no different, people. So a second possibility is that the dogs that trigger your dog to respond aggressively have a different communication style. All breeds do not speak the same language. Some use more signals than others. So our second driving factor is dogs can't effectively communicate with other dogs. Yeah, guys, you can't make this shit up. I want you people to do you have common sense? Just a little. They call it common sense. I can't find the shit anywhere, it seems like these days. But just think about that. You are trying to tell me, with all of your expertise, with all your knowledge, with your 31 letters behind these 3 important doctors' names, that one of the reasons dogs act aggressively is because they can't talk to each other. I don't get it. I will never get it. It's the stupidest sounding thing I've ever heard in my life. So, why does a dog act aggressively with an unfamiliar dog? Well, pain, or 2, they can't communicate with each other. Right? So it's making sense to everybody. Boy, let's roll with it. Let's just go with it, okay? So fast forward to treatment. Last week we started treatment, so we're going to go to pick 4. Okay, so now we're on pick 4. So to start, it is helpful to train 2 behaviors. The first is the heel or walk with me. Your dog can be taught to walk next to you when there are no dogs nearby. And eventually, when there are dogs in the area, training always starts at home in a quiet area with no distractions. Walk forward while holding a treat in your hand so the dog can easily be rewarded while walking beside you. Soon your dog is eagerly admitting, sorry about the line in there, that is my problem, I did that. So the first skill is the walk with me, okay? So walk with me, we're teaching the heel. Great. Let's see what the second thing is that they give us. So we'll pull up pick 5. And here we go. The second conditioned behavior will be sit, stay, relax. Let me just help you understand something. That's 3 things. So it would actually, with all their knowledge, be behaviors, right? Sit, stay, relax. Again, first, train in a quiet environment. Encourage your dog to sit and relax in front of and beside you and deliver treats. Treat dealers, baby. Get your shirts. Use a calm voice and ensure your dog sits patiently each time you deliver a treat. Work your way up to a calm 2 minutes. This is enough time for a dog in the street to pass by you. You may use cues, stay, relax, as she relaxes. Fabulous. So, sit, stay, relax. So the assessment is that teaching the dog skills or behaviors, the heel, the sit, the stay, the relax, will address pain. Right? Because that's the why. We just looked at it. Why? Pain, or they can't talk to each other. So how does teaching a heel address pain? How does a dog sitting address pain? How does stay address pain? Well, relax might, right? Relax, fluffy. Into the nose, out to the mouth. Does that make sense? Does any of that help with communication? So dogs can't communicate. Problem number 2, the 2 dogs don't speak the same language. So if I teach my dog to heel, now they can talk to each other better, right? Odd. If Fluffy sits, now they're talking the same language, right? No, maybe not. I don't get it. Stay. They talking to each other now? Relax. How do you like the info, people? Is it hitting home? See? None of it makes sense. But, hey, no fear whatsoever. We have more. So let's roll pick 6 and see what we got. Yes. Once the heel and the sit, stay, cues, now they're cues. See, in my world, sit, stays, that's a basic obedience. But these cues have been mastered. You can arrange desensitization and counter-conditioning sessions. During these sessions, you can ask your dog to sit, stay, and relax when approaching dogs are far enough away that your dog can easily focus on the cues. With each section, the approaching dog may get a little closer until finally, after many sessions, your dog can sit and relax when the other dog is close enough to you to talk with the other handler. A qualified trainer who understands learning theory and positive reinforcement can help you with these sessions. Okay. Here we go. Let's dive into it and see what they've got. So once the heel, sit, stay have been mastered. Okay. This is where they're going to, this is, again, they're going to set the bar so high that you're never going to be able to achieve it. So what does mastered actually mean? Acquired complete knowledge or skill in a technique. To acquire complete knowledge or skill in a technique. A heel is definitely technical. I tell my clients all the time, my healing is much more technical than what the average person is going to have you do. Gain control. The second thing they say is it says that to master something is to gain control of or overcome. Okay? So that's kind of a lofty goal. You have to understand that. And here's the deal. And you guys got to remember, where I come from is the real world. Every day, Monday through Friday, at least once a day, I am either in a public park or a Home Depot, a Lowe's, a Tractor Supply, something like that. A very public setting, at least once a day, every week. Multiple days a week, I am at least outside walking dogs, teaching people to walk dogs outside. Okay? So I have yet to see a R+ or positive only trainer have a client who has mastered the heel by themselves. All the videos you see, all the bullshit you see, I got 4 or 5 dogs inside my little garage outside and we're working our dogs and they're doing great. No, I'm talking about the park. I'm talking about walking around the neighborhood. I'm talking about in the Home Depot because I'm in those venues all the time. And guess what? I see people every single day with a treat bag around their waist, throwing their dogs treats, trying to get them to act right. None of them have mastered the heel. 0 of them have mastered the skill in a public place with stimulus. I will promise you this. And find them. The dog would have to be so old that it wouldn't matter. But I guarantee you, any R+ trainer or R+ trained dog that tried to get into my group class would not be granted access. Absolutely, positively 0 chance. They're not good enough. Most of those dogs walk with me is the dog sniffing around, walking around doing what the hell it wants. There's no way they get into my group class. Do you think I run up to 50, 60 dogs at a time and those dogs aren't some of the best behaved dogs in the world? I guarantee it. I can put 60 people together right now and outperform any trainer in the Metroplex, any trainer in the state, any trainer in the United States or abroad. Take your top 60 clients. I'll take my top 60 clients. We'll see who 60 clients can do more. In the real world, all together, all at the same time. Achieve more. But your R+ trainers never even get to a point where I would allow them into my group class. You know what's funny is, so I get this information telling me how I should do something from Ellen and Deborah and Big G. You know what's something? I wonder how their dogs walk. You think they've mastered the heel? Do you think I would let Gary in my group class with his dog? I'm going to bet on no. He could surprise me, maybe so, but I doubt it. I doubt any of them have trained a dog to the actual position of what they're trying to tell you to do with their dog. You need to do this with your dog, but they can't do it with theirs. I would almost bet. Now, inside of this, is there some truth? Yeah, I could take some stuff away from here and agree with. What would that be? Take your time. Distance is your friend. Always gain control at 30 feet. Then move to 20 feet. Get your control there. Then move to 10 feet. Take it slow. It's already stressful for you and the dog. So yes, absolutely take it slow. Everything is done at distance. Distance is always your friend when dealing with reactivity or aggression. Distance is always your friend. Another word they throw in there is qualified. Qualified, right? So a qualified trainer. Here's my question. Who's qualifying them? what makes them qualified. See, the problem we have is my vets are only going to refer, or at least this group of them, not all of them, obviously, but they are only going to refer people that have qualified to do it a certain way. So what you do is you shrink your box of ability of people to get out there and work with you. You take away tools. What do you have to be qualified in? Of learning theory and positive reinforcement. So you're qualifying them through they know how to or understand learning theory and positive reinforcement. So these are the only ones that can help you. The funny thing is, I understand both of those very, very well. I mean, I use them every day. See, with dog training, it's not about this theory or that theory. They all have some relevance in the actual training process. And that's a problem. They only want you to use these. This little bitty box. Well, that doesn't always work on all dogs. Most dogs need a little bit of each to make it work. But see, if I'm not positive reinforcement only, if I correct a dog, I am not going to be part of that group. I won't be that person that they're going to say, oh, call Michael. The thing is when they deal with your positive reinforcement only or their learned theory, the way they apply it today does not work in the real world. It absolutely, positively is ineffective in the real world. I'm going to go out and say 80 to 90% of the time. Because when I look at dogs every single day in the real world, out doing things, every damn one of them's got a treat. 99% of them have treats. And all those dogs pretty much are very ill-behaved, to say the best. So, again, they're not helping us with anything. Positive reinforcement, right? Learned theory, positive reinforcement. What does positive reinforcement mean? Da-da-da-da. That's right. What is pick 7? Bam, baby! Yeah, this is one of my favorite tools from abroad. Oh, Glasgow dog training and behavioralist. Prep is done for the day. Oh, yeah, we got our hot dogs ready to go. Feeding your dog a hot dog, kind of, to me, is maybe one of the cruelest things you could do. Do y'all eat hot dogs? How many hot dogs do you eat a day? Every time you take your dog out and train it, if you train your dog every day, how many damn hot dogs do you feed your dog a day? For fuck's sake, what's the sodium level in those things? You won't eat them. You won't feed them to your kids, but you're going to get them to your dog all day long. Oh, God. Talk about cruel. Talk about aversive. Keep shoving hot dogs down your dog's throat. That's fabulous. Absolutely the craziest thing in the world to me. All right, let's go to pick 8 and move on. We got more good stuff to bring you. So here we go. Next on their list of treatment is until your dog is ready. If you do encounter a dog on a walk, try to guide your dog off the path. Do not try to train your dog by giving her commands or corrections while she is lunging. Try to stay calm and quiet. Hold the leash steady with just enough tension to keep her from getting away or accidentally biting you. It often helps to stand still rather than continue moving forward, as pulling on the leash can cause frustration and increase the intensity of the aggressive response. Okay, so here we go. No, not here we go. Hold on. Have we read this somewhere before? Remember when I talk about the regurgitation of information? Show me pick 9. Second paragraph. What does that say? Can you all read that? Let me get it for you. Do not try to train your dog by giving him, oh shit, we trained it from him to hers, commands or corrections While he is lunging at you, try to stay calm and quiet. Hold the leash steady with just enough tension to keep your dog from physically. Oh my, are you kidding me? Zero information. You just gained zero information. That was in the assessment part. Here we are in the treatment part. It's the same shit. We're just they changed from him to her. So you got a different sex dog we're talking about. That's it. What good does it? Do you realize how much information they're telling you twice? Shit, the article would be half the size if they just tell it to me once and put it where it belongs. This is what I'm telling you, circular. It all comes back to the same thing, regurgitating the same information. You're learning nothing, people. This whole thing is so frivolous for you to even read it. It's crazy. Let's go to pick 10. More good stuff, I'm sure. Though, you should not use verbal cues until your dog can respond consistently with distractions. You can keep the mood calm by using gentle, cheerful voice when you see a dog approaching. For instance, you can say, "Good dog. Here comes another lovely dog." We moved to Britain all of a sudden. It's a lovely dog. If your dog will take a treat, treat your dog generously until the other dog has passed you by. With some training, you may be able to ask for a sit and reward a relaxed sit-stay. Sometimes it is impossible to stop in place. You need to move forward, get past a particular dog by trying to use high-value treats to lure your dog along. There's so much in this to unpack that is absolutely ridiculous. So it starts with no verbal cues. Okay, so watch. No verbal cues until your dog can respond consistently with distraction, comma, same paragraph, you can keep the mood calm by using gentle, cheerful. So this is obviously after, right? So understand this. You go out and try this in a real world, you're gonna screw it up every time because it's not clear information for you. Why do you give no verbal cues when the dog is acting up? Why not? See, I have a hard time with this because everything in life, can there be a positive without a negative? Can something be tall if there's not something short? Can something be fat if there's not something skinny? Do you understand that's what yin and yang is? There's an opposite for everything. Otherwise, everything's the same. There must be opposites. Okay, so I have in the dog world what they're telling me. When the dog is behaving correctly, I should reward with praise and treats. When the dog is acting bad, if I can do nothing. Why is there no response for the bad behavior, but there's a response for the good behavior? Makes zero sense. If there is a response when a dog does something right, there should also be some sort of response when a dog does something wrong. That, people, is common sense. How by doing nothing is fixing anything? Here's the thing, too. Are you seeing how there's a gentle, cheerful voice? What does that normally sound like when someone does that? Good puppy, good dog, it's okay, good. Here comes another lovely dog. Who talks like that? Apparently Ellen. Ellen may be from across the pond, right? Ellen, Deborah, Gary. They absolutely, do you guys, listen, I hope you watch this someday, all three of you. And I'll call you all three out right now. Do any of you have any fucking clue how dogs actually respond to tone? What you are telling those people with that tone of voice, because they're going to go straight to, it's okay, you're okay. You know that's what they're going to go to. What does a highlight tone tell a dog's brain? Good dog, keep going, keep doing that. So in the moment, I have an aggressive or reactive dog, and you're saying as long as it's doing nothing, I need to start going, good dog, way to go, I'm proud of you. Do you realize every one of those situations, that dog is still staring at the dog coming? It's looking at, good dog. You're telling it, good dog. If it has fear aggression, if it has anxiety, you are cajoling the behavior and telling the dog to continue. You don't even understand how many times I see people do that. Thousands of times I've seen that. Thousands upon thousands of times. The dog's not pulling forward. It's not barking and lunging. So we're like, it's a good puppy. Oh, good job, Fluffy. Oh, good job. And boom! Fucking Fluffy goes off. Every time. Every single time. I see it so much. That is counter conditioning, if anything. Give me pick 11. Reinforcement related or learned. Dogs experience an innate reward for barking and lunging, especially if they are fearful or territorial. Behaviors that are rewarded will continue and often strengthen over time. Yup. You are doing more reinforcing the bad behavior or the thought of bad behavior and anxiety that the dog is feeling when you're treating it and when you're telling it it's okay, good dog. That's absolutely counterproductive. 1,000%. I say, I understand what they're trying. If you do it right, there is a minuscule amount of help that it will give you, but even the R+ trainers can't get people to do it right. It's absolutely without warrant because the people are constantly are treating and rewarding at the wrong time. And that's what screws it up. Every single time. And it's not, I mean, the glass cow guy, I watched so many of his videos because most of the time I just need a good laugh. Because he's so proud of a dog that, I mean, almost yanks a person down the park to a bench. He's almost, oh, great job, buddy. Great. Fuck, your client almost lost their arm, dude. Oh, well, he didn't bark at the dog. See how good he's doing? Treat him. Generously treat him. Keep giving him more. It's going to screw you up more than it's going to help you. Now, let's just kind of look at it. It said, if your dog will take treats. See, this is how they set you up for failure. First thing was the master. Because if you screwed it up, they're going to go, did you master that? Did you actually master? You didn't. You need to do more work. That's why it failed. It's not because of what I told you is wrong. It's because you didn't master it. Now it's if your dog will take treats. If your dog will take treats. Well, here's the deal. In those situations, do you know most dogs will not take treats? Absolutely, positively will not. That's why they put the disclaimer in there. Now watch, it keeps getting good. With some training, you may be able to ask for the sit and relax. May. What's the probability there? What do you think the probability of a reactive or aggressive dog is going to sit there calmly and relax? It may, and it may not. See, if, possibly, maybe, may, might. Oh, did you master it? Here's the deal. I will tell you exactly what I will do. And I will do it. Every single time. When I'm dealing with a dog that's 5 months or older, I will unequivocally stop nudging, bumping, pushing, pawing, leaning, jumping, hyperactivity, counter surfing, scratching on doors. I will set a 5 to 10 foot boundary at your front door and stop the dog from rushing it and barking. I will do all of that in 5 or 6 minutes. Never touch your dog. Completely non-physical. And I tell each and every one of my clients, if I am incapable of doing that by the end of my first 2-hour lesson, you owe me $0. Do you know how many times I haven't been paid? 0 times. The guy yesterday, he's like, you told me, Michael, if you couldn't do it, I didn't have to pay you. I was like, yes, sir, that's exactly right. He goes, guess what I'm going to do? I go, what's that, sir? He goes, I'm going to write you a check. I will tell you exactly what I can do, and I will do it. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is possible, 100%. Now, as we move along, though, they said we may have to use high-value treats. You know why they had to throw that in there? Because our good doctors know damn good and well treats have little to no draw in those situations. So our big three, Ellen, Deborah, and Big G, y'all just need to come honest with these people and let them know. Yep, treats are probably not going to work. Or do you really think they are? The dog is not going to take a treat. If your dog will take a treat, well, why wouldn't it take a treat? Well, it's too amped up. It can't take a treat. Well, then use a higher value treat. If would suggest it may not work. And now the reason it didn't work is because your treat wasn't high value enough. Oh, for fuck's sake. What are we going to start with? Well, Bill Jack's not good enough. Huh. Okay, what are we going to go? I don't know. Do we end up with salmon, venison, bison? I mean, what do we got to use that's going to be high value enough? High value. That's the cop-out, people. Oh, yours just wasn't high value enough. You need to try something different. Well, shit, I'm already using bison. The dog's eating better than I am, but, it worked a time or two, and now it's not going to get my dog to stop. Yeah, I know. Yep. It's on socials all the time. I look at them just for the pure entertainment factor of how stupid people look. I mean, the lady scooping out wet dog food on the ground to get the dog not to bark at a stuffed animal dog. Stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's funny though, right? But it never fails. Someone asks, "Hey, what treats are you using?" The homie from across the hey, what brand of hot dogs are those? Oh my gosh. It drives me absolutely insane. You mean to tell me that your dog training theory, everything about it evolves around how good your treats are, not about how good you are about dealing with the dog. It's going to come down to, are my treats high value enough? My training doesn't fucking work if my treats ain't high value enough. Well, it's not my training, Michael. It's the dog needs a higher value treat. Well, shit, what are we going to be feeding it live rabbits after a while? So then that must make sense. The higher the value, the treat, the better the results, right? Well, I've got a question. Why do we start with a normal treat? Why don't we start with high value treats? Wouldn't that make sense? Just start with high value. How fast will the training go then? Shit, I might cut down months of training if I just start high value. Treats. Treats fix pain. That's the why. They told me why. Pain. Do treats fix the dog's inability to communicate with each other? No. It's absolutely crazy. Look, hey, think about this. What are you going to do if your dog has allergies? Sensitive stomach? It's on sensitive, it's on a special diet? You just going to pound treats down its throat? That might not work, huh? What if I've got a little dog? I got a 10-pound dog. How many hot dogs can it eat before it's not going to eat any more damn hot dogs? So what's that mean? Your training session is going to be 10 minutes long and you're back at the house? It's unbelievable to me that if you just use a little common sense, someone that uses treats only is failing miserably at being able to fix a problem. How does the food, how does the food address the why? Does it make any sense? Hot dogs stop the dog from feeling pain. Hot dogs help my dog communicate better with another dog. Gary, talk to me. You got all those fucking letters behind your name. Tell me how that makes sense. Take a fearful dog. Oh, he's scared. How do hot dogs make him feel not scared? Oh, he's going to associate hot dogs when he gets scared. He's going to associate it with something good. That's bullshit. Why are y'all telling people this? You're the one making the rules I'm playing by. Pain and an inability to communicate with another dog. I'm playing by your rules, and you can't even back them up. You want to know how this shit works in the real world? The stone cold hard truth. Sometimes it just gets out there. Sometimes you just get to see it. We looked at it last week, but look, let's look at pick 12. Sometimes we just see it, people. Sometimes they show you. I don't understand how this is going to help with my dog reactivity. Dun, 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 dun. Pick 13. Yeah, see Fluffy eating all the food, and then boom. 2 years later. 2 years later. What have you personally done to better yourself that took you 2 years? Most people can't stick with even a hobby for 2 years. It is highly unlikely that the human would do something for 2 years, seeing minimal results, and continue with it to get to the end result. How many of you out there have like your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Minimum of 10 years. 3-4 days a week. Competitions. Continuous grind. I've been back in the gym now for 3 years. 5 or 6 days a week. Barely miss a day. Do you do anything for 2 years and are happy with it at the end of it for yourself? Who? Don't act like it, because it's very unrealistic that a human can do something for 2 years, see minimal results, and continue with it. But they want you to believe 2 years to fix something at max would take me 8 weeks. That was a fucking day, and you just spent 35% of its life trying to get it so it could walk around other people and dogs. I was doing it a disservice. But that's the real world, people. That's honesty right there. It just slipped up and came out. They said the truth. You know, if it took you 2 years to stop your dog from barking and rushing the door, you'd say fuck it and not do it. But I digress. Let's move on. There's more good stuff from my fearless writers of this paper. Let's go to pick 14. How do I reduce my dog's fear and anxiety about other dogs? Fear and anxiety are often treated by desensitizing and counter-conditioning. It is essential to identify the point at which your dog appears uncomfortable. Perhaps your dog puts her ears back, stares, snarls, and attempts to move away during a typical session. Your dog might be asked to sit, stay, relax, while the dog that triggers the response begins to approach, yet stays far enough away so your dog can remain relaxed, blah, blah, blah. How do I reduce? Okay, I don't even give a shit about the aggression. I mean, that's what this was about, aggression, so I guess this is about fear, aggression. Fear and anxiety. All I care about, it says, how do I reduce it? Let's fucking roll. They're going to tell us how to fix something. Finally, we're going to apply the wise pain and lack of dog-on-dog communication to reduce anxiety and fear. That's what we're going to do, because that's what they just said. So let's go. So treat fear and anxiety with desensitizing and counter-conditioning. Okay. How does desensitizing have anything to do with fear or anxiety? How does counter-conditioning, now look, I'm going to get a bunch of shit on this. Counter-conditioning have to do with fear or anxiety? Does desensitizing or counter-conditioning address why? Which by Ellen, Deborah, and Gary, the why is pain or lack of communication. I understand fucking counter-conditioning, and I understand this, okay? So come at me. If you want to go, I'll put a seat right here, and you can sit down and tell me how I don't know what I'm talking about. But here's the deal. They told me it was pain and lack of communication between dogs. How does that help? Does it take away pain? Does counter-conditioning take away pain from a dog? Does counter-conditioning help a dog talk to another dog better? Does desensitizing help a dog communicate better with another dog? Well, Michael, they're talking about the fear. Okay. Do you think counter-conditioning helps with fear? Do you think it changes the personality of the dog? Do you? Do you think desensitizing actually takes fear away from the dog? Or is it just a way for a fearful dog to cope with something? Did you ever think about it that way? But by my doctor's standards that they have given me, pain and inability to communicate, desensitizing and counter-conditioning do shit. Go to pick 15. So, identifying the triggers and context for the fear-based response is important. Okay, so now we're moving into triggers. Now we're just totally skipping all over the place. We're going to move into triggers. Triggers don't answer why. Triggers cause the reaction. Understand that. Do you want to know why you have a reactive or aggressive response? Because the dog's a fearful dog. It's fearful by nature. It's the personality of the dog. The dog's nature, its makeup, how it is, its self-confidence is fearful. It's a personality trait. It's an anxious dog. You know people like this too. Anxious, high stress, fearful. That's the dog. The fear and the anxiety do not just show up when the trigger presents itself. They're not fearful of the other dog. They are not anxious of the other dog. They are already that way. The dog shows up and causes a response to their inner feelings of fear and anxiety. Fear is always there. When we talk about fear, you're getting much closer to the why dogs act aggressively, why they act reactively. Fear is a huge motivating factor, and we'll talk about it. I'll break it down for what it really is, and we'll see how it really works. Let's go to 16. The pace should be slow, so your dog is never frightened. They're talking about a fearful dog. Never frightened during a session. How are you? The term threshold is sometimes used to describe a dog's lower tolerance level. In treatment, a dog is purposely kept under threshold. Okay, so that 4 lines of that, right? Those 4 lines of information, this has got to be, this is just infuriating. Okay, so should the pace be slow? 100%. 100%. You have to slow down. It's already stressful for your dog because your dog's already stressed out, right? It's already fearful. Don't move too fast. Move slow and controlled. However, I cannot let my dog dictate pace, because if I do, I will never see any gains. This is why it took that girl 2 years to be able to walk her dog in public. She went at the pace of the dog. Threshold. Oh, God, here we go. Let's get into threshold. Let's talk some freaking threshold. Can be looked at differently by different people. Trust you me. All right, show me pick 17, please. All right. So I feel like my good doctors like the last one on here. I feel that's a limit below which a stimulus causes no reaction. Okay? Understand, though, if you stay under threshold, there's no growth. Growth cannot happen because we have kept the dog under. You haven't pushed the boundary and taken the dog past it. No growth will ever occur if you don't push past threshold. Does that make sense? You could do it with anything. I want to run faster. Well, no, I'm going to run at a 10:30 pace every time. Well, you're never going to make a 9-minute mile if you just go at a 10:30 every time. I want to bench 265. Well, I can't stay benching 225 every day. I got to go up. You have to push the threshold. Understand, the growth has to be pushed by you. Until you push your dog past that threshold, it will never go anywhere. That's what they were talking about, the 30 feet, the 20 feet, the 10 feet. When I work at 30 feet, that's my threshold. I can't get any closer without my dog firing off. So I work my dog to 30 feet where it's fine. It's comfortable. I can watch dogs pass by. Well, I need to change the threshold. It goes to 20 feet. I make the dog good at 20 feet. Guess what? Threshold change. I move to 10 feet. They'll tell you to do that, but then tell you not to do that. What the hell? Now, me personally, I just like what number 2 says, right? The magnitude or intensity that must be exceeded for a certain reaction. Result, for a certain result. How about that one? Or a condition to occur. Oh, I like that. Yes, intense. Exceed. That's the dog won't do it itself. Do you know how many fearful dogs I deal with that won't come to me? They don't like you, don't know you, don't want to be there. No, Michael. And I put it on a leash, and guess what I do? Guess what this mean, evil person does? I drag the dog to me, sit it down, and start petting it. You know what happens after about 3 minutes? Dog crawls in my lap. Oh, you're kind of nice, Michael. The dog would have never learned that if I wouldn't have forced the behavior, if I didn't push it past its threshold. Dogs will not do it themselves. It's your job as the human to take the dog past threshold, to take the dog into uncomfortable situations, and through your leadership, through the dog's trust in you, show the dog that it is possible for this to be a safe and enjoyable environment. Be thinking, that's on who? You. That's on you. Because you have to have a relationship with your dog where it trusts you that you will take care of it. See, we don't talk about this at all, have we? Hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs, high value, high value, high value. What about your relationship with your dog? Do you think they've mentioned that yet? Hell no. How can you possibly continue to grow if you never push past the comfort zone? You have never got better at anything by doing nothing. You've never got better at anything by taking the easy way out. Hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs. I may have to tell my fucking dog no. I may have to have some tough love and actually correct my dog. Your dog has to be pushed, people. And who better to push it than you, the owner, the one that loves it the most? Every part of what you do is surpassing threshold. Do you remember when they talked to us about you must teach your dog to heel in a quiet place and then move outward? Why is that? Outside with everything going on is too high of a threat. The dog is out of its element. I start inside and I make it perfect. The threshold is low inside because of lack of stimulus. I take the dog outside. I don't go to the park. I go 3 or 4 houses down, cross the street, come 3 or 4 houses back, and I go inside. That's my new threshold. And I work that threshold until it's easy for the dog and it's comfortable for the dog. Then I go down the block and back. And I work that till it's comfortable. I keep moving the threshold. I keep moving the threshold, and I keep forcing the dog past it until it becomes comfortable with it. But see, that requires a relationship between you and the dog to be able to achieve that properly. It has nothing to do with a bucket of fucking hot dogs, people. I don't even know how that makes sense in people's minds. The development of a relationship between food and the dog is more important than the relationship between you and the dog? Do you see the high-speed IPO dogs out there running off hot dogs? No. People are like, oh, well, they're abusive when they train them and blah, blah, blah. Those dogs run at a high level with no e-collar, no treats. And part of what they are judged on is how willing the dog looks to do what it's being asked to do. That's relational. It's establishing a positive relationship between you and the dog where you're not a sap. You're not a pathetic piece of nothing that is only good for handing out treats. Those shirts I see, I'm a treat dealer. Good Lord, it makes me so mad because those people have the worst damn dogs. Thresholds are an amazing tool to use to help move your dog in the right direction. We might equivocate that to our human self as a goal. And then I set small goals to reach my big goal. You keep pushing and crossing. You keep moving forward. R+ trainers, positive only trainers, your quadrant trainers, all they want to do is throw food at the dog. Just let it sink in. Build a relationship with both correction and praise and see how far it goes, or just throw hot dogs at the dog. Building a relationship between you and the dog is the single most important thing that can be done. The problem is you want to build that relationship as an equal with your dog, not a superior over your dog. The canine handler relationship is one of the most impressive things you will ever see. If you have ever seen a canine that retires and they'll film it and they'll last call the dog, that handler will just sit in there and cry, just tears streaming. I'm getting choked up thinking about it. Because until you've had that type of relationship with your dog, so here I go. I'm not crying, you're crying. You don't understand what you can have with your dog. The reason I moved from your high-speed working dogs to the civilian side is to hopefully give people the opportunity and the tools, if they want to work hard enough and do that, to have a relationship with their dog like I had with my working dogs. It's different. It's not average. It far exceeds average. It's not the dog. The dog would pick me over a T-bone steak 99.9% of the times, and I don't care if you didn't feed that dog for a month. It would still look at me and come over and snuggle up against me before it went and ate that food. Because the relationship is so strong. The bond is so tight. The two of you work as a team. You're like symbiotic with this dog. Every move you make, the dog goes, I know what we're doing next because we do this. I know. I got your back. You got my back, Dad. Let's go. But in this day and age, we want it to be a fur baby. Do you realize, just look at our society. What we have done when we take personal responsibility and challenge people, and it's never my fault. Always putting the blame on someone else. Always, the treat's not good enough. That's why my dog didn't do it. My dog's being reactive because the other dog triggered it. Wasn't Fluffy's fault. Take personal responsibility for what's going on. Look at what we've done to humans. How many people out there are on like the Xanax and the Valium and the shit? More now than ever. And now it's down to our kids. Every kid's got ADHD. Every kid's on this. Every kid's on that. We have higher suicide rate in teens than ever before. Because we coddle the shit out of them. There's no personal responsibility. Now we've moved it right to the damn dogs. Who do you think prescribes all these drugs? These R+ and these positive only trainers are the first ones to shoot right in there hard. Medication. My training didn't work. Your dog just needs medication, Michael. Bullshit. It's a cop-out because your training didn't work. Medication is not the answer, people. You know what the second part of that is? Euthanasia. That's what comes from lack of knowledge. That's what comes from not building a positive relationship with the dog. Your dog ends up on a drug or euthanized. You'll give it up somewhere. I'm giving it up on the dog. Take it to the pound. Do you realize that the rate is like 85 or 90% of people that surrender a dog get another one? Oh, it was the dog. That just wasn't a good dog. That is far and few in between. That's not a good person. That's not a good human. You did a poor job building a relationship. See, I can build a relationship and correct my dog. I can build a relationship and correct my dog. I correct my children. I have a great relationship with all of my kids. And I have corrected them. I have also praised them. I have also nurtured them. I have also held them and loved on them. I have helped them and walked them through problems, through anxieties, through fears, and helped them grow and pushed them in directions that were good for them and challenged them to be better in areas where they could be. See, they don't want you to believe that you can build a strong relationship with a dog and tell it no. Or you, the human, are too much of a piece of shit to care enough about your dog to correct it to make it better. Which is it? Do you last night, I could come up with these all day long. Last night, and it was cold and nasty here, and I'm still 8 o'clock at night, had a lesson, an hour lesson. Younger dog's bigger than the older dog now. Little bit of a tyrant going after the older dog, 2 females. There's my sibling rivalry every time. But this dog is just a scared dog, and it's overreacting to everything. I come in the house, dog is barking and jumping on mom and jumping on mom and barking and jumping on mom. I'm like, you got to correct it. You got to stop it. You got to stop it. She's like, I just have a hard time with this part of it. So I take over. 4 corrections. The dog walks over, lays underneath the table, and is quiet. Done. Absolutely done. 4 corrections, less than 20 seconds. Never touch the dog. Never touch the dog. Dog was done. My bad, Michael. Okay. See, mom coddles the dog too much. Mom lets the dog sit on the lap too much. Mom gives in to the dog too much. So then when push comes to shove and mom said, you need to stop, the dog said, screw you. I'll do what I want to do. You ain't big enough to, that went past your pay grade, mom. I'll handle Michael. So when she was unable to, I fixed the problem. Now watch. You would think that I'm the one the dog would hate the worst, right? Oh, you would think. So we walk in and we sit down, right? And guess who the dog came and sat by? Yep. Walked right over, sat down, laid down right by my feet. Why would the dog do that? I even looked at her. I said, well, that's strange, huh? I just got done like not even 5 minutes ago telling your dog, no, bad dog, stop doing that. And then I come over and sit down and what's your dog do? I know, Michael, that's crazy. See, the dog is a fearful dog. And the dog is craving structure, boundaries, and consequence for bad behavior. The dog is craving leadership. It needs a leader. It needs someone to take care of a Michael when they come up. It needs someone to take care of the other dog when they see the other dog on the street. It needs a relationship with its human where the human is in control, not the dog. And in less than 20 seconds, I established that with the dog since I was not physical with the dog. Did I tell it no? You're damn right I did. Did it have consequence? You're damn right it did. but it was a non-physical consequence for the behavior. So then when I sat down and my body language lowers, I'm in a more submissive position. Guess what the dog did? It felt comfortable. I just walked over and sat down, laid down. Not only sat down, laid down. Because it said, that's what I need. And when I showed mom that, she was like, this is crazy. The dog needs you to correct it. The dog needs you to be in control, because then when it goes outside and I start putting it and moving it into higher thresholds, the dog looks to me to handle it, not to itself. The dog looks at me and says, I'm a Michael. Michael runs a pretty tight ship and he loves me. You're not part of our oh shit pack. He's not going to take that from you. So I choose to stay with Michael and be calm and let him handle it. And then when I start having positive reps and positive interactions like that, all of a sudden it becomes the new norm. I won't take the fear away from the dog. It's impossible. But the dog will learn to gain confidence through me, not through itself, not through a hot dog. I wonder, Big G, you saw all those letters behind his name, right? Shit, that boy got what, 13 letters behind his name? I wonder if he ever pushed a threshold to get all those letters. I wonder if he ever felt like not studying, but pushed through it and pushed past that threshold so he could get that exam. I wonder if that vet school ever got, that specialty that he went through ever got so bad, he's like, I should just quit, but I got to keep going. I wonder if he ever had second thoughts, but said, no, I got to buck up and do it. I bet you every damn one of those doctors push thresholds, and they're going to turn around and tell you not to do it. Where's the common sense in that? There is none. But lucky for all of you, I got a whole lot of common sense, and I'm going to bring it to you. Now, this is what we're going to do. Next week, we're going to have a guest. Miss Linda is coming back, and she is going to bestow upon us her expertise with aggressive dogs and reactive dogs, and we're just going to get a different take on it. So you don't have to listen to Michael all the time. You can listen to someone else. Linda is fantastic. She's the one person I found in this general area that has more experience of years of training dogs than I do, and I've only been doing it 35 years, so that's saying something, I would say. Second thing is I am getting ready to break down how to actually fix this crap. Okay, got a little taste of it tonight. Hopefully that's going to start to make some sense to you, but we'll deep dive it after Linda. I'll deep dive it. Hopefully I can get it done in all one episode and it won't take a whole bunch of them. And then after I deep dive it and we finish with that, I'm actually going to have a client on that went through the aggressive protocol that I do. And we actually caught video of it. It was just lucky. 8 weeks. So we just got lucky, and it was human aggressive. It was people aggressive like nobody. And this was aggression, people. It wasn't reactivity. A dog tried to get me 3 times in one lesson. My first lesson, Dad had to jump in the middle and block him so he couldn't get me. It was fun. And now he's the most loving dog, gets hugs and pets from the grandkids now. Okay, so you'll actually have a true life story of how I do, what I do, and how it went for him. So I hope you have enjoyed. Hey, pass it along, share it along. You know somebody out there that's got a dog that would love to listen to me rant and rave. I know you do. So forward this stuff, share this stuff. Make sure everybody knows about it. My name, Michael Hoskinson, the DFW area where I am taking over. I'm going to be the premier and elite trainer in this entire area. Mark my words. I will come to you later this year and show you a 75-dog group class. We're going to pull off the biggest group class ever known to North America. It's going to be fantastic. But until then, I want you guys out there building relationships with your dog. A positive relationship that's going to come through both correction and through praise and reward and love. It all is intertwined, people. You got to work all facets of it, or you might as well not work any of it. So get out there, have some fun with your dog. And I want you to know I'll be back to give you the truth next week. We'll see you then. Happy training.